Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jenna Blackard, and I am the founder of the Real Raw You podcast. And today's guest is Christopher Macklin. And we are going to take you down through a profound, phenomenal healing and energetic healing session today. So I hope that you are excited, and I hope that you're ready to release and heal and really have some fun in this frequency of healing and really coming into our topic today, which is presence, purpose, and power. So Christopher, welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Jenna. Bless your heart. It's wonderful to be here. Yay. Wonderful to be
here. It was really interesting going through some of the videos of your work and really noticing how through the way that you go about it, how you can just instantly release some of these blockages and these interferences that people may be experiencing on the planet today. Can you first tell us a little bit about the work that you do, and let's kind of bring people up to date and up to speed with the work that you're doing now?
Well, there's a lot of facets to it. Healing is just one facet, and the healing goes pretty deep. Most people are sick because we live on a planet where everyone's got PTSD and lots of stress and anxiety. They ingest several thousand layers of emotion, and we're not built for that, but unfortunately, because of separation and different things happening, we're ingesting it, news and everything else. So, because of that level of emotion, drops the vibration, and when your vibration drops, of course, you can get attachments, and then it gets worse because it bleeds into the adrenals. You get exhausted, and attachments, can actually send you negative thoughts, and they normally sit in the abdomen. Most of the normal attachments, there's different types, of course, and they can send you negative thoughts. They can damage your lower back, and drop the vibration organs, and then you feel sick. And so, it's important to look at the cause and effect, to me, because if you don't understand the cause, the symptom, for example, if you've got stage 4 cancer tumor, it's a symptom. It's just like a common cold. It's nothing. It's what caused it in the first place, and so, I always look at the cause and effect and make sure we get rid of the primary, secondary cause, and then look at the symptom and take care of that as well. But, to me, one of the biggest things is raising your vibration and getting in what I call the God space. The God space is where you're leaping out of bed in the morning, going, oh my God, I feel incredible. You got this inner strength. You feel as though you could take on the world. Let's do it, and off you go. And it's exciting. And I think, for me on this planet, people have got to find there's divine plans for everybody. There's a divine plan, you've got a gift, and the divine plan is there if you want to step into or not, and it's your choice, obviously. And therefore, to me, it's very important. Unless you get your vibration right up there, you're not going to connect with that gift because they won't download it. So I think, that's one of the biggest things, that passion and that driving force. It's really important.
I love how you say that, because one of the pieces of my work is really to get people to step into following their calling. What are they called to do, not what necessarily do they desire to do, although that often lines up. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about, what it takes to raise our frequency to really get in alignment with that calling.
Well, again, it's a way of life. We need to just releasing emotions, look at positivity, again, changing that mindset, from patterns of, oh God, I work on 800 people a week, and all the time I see, people say, well, yeah, I'd love to have a session, but, there's no buts about it. If you want a session, then let's do it, and oh, but I haven't got enough. Okay, well, here we go, and the God realm, whatever you believe God is, it doesn't matter. I always use the term God, but it was Elam, Yahweh, Spirit, big cheese in the sky, God couldn't care less. It's only us down here that worry about stuff like that. But I think, if you keep telling God, oh, I haven't got enough. Okay, well, we're just about to give you a big old check, but that's okay. We'll pull it away. it's that sort of thing. Every single thought, and I've learned because I've been in a space where I was living out of a car. I had nowhere to go, and I used to wash my clothes, hang them up in the car. So, people say, well, it's okay for you. It's not. I've been through that, and I know exactly what it is. I know what it's like to have no money for 21 days for food and things, and I've been without food. And it was a great lesson because, you know what, sometimes when you go to that process and it can feel darkest before the dawn, and suddenly, you know what, I deserve food. So, okay, God, I command and I want food right now. I'm going to manifest it. And suddenly, within 10 minutes, it appeared like, wow, this is good. It's working.
Right.
But sometimes it takes that drop, completely crush. I went bankrupt 14 years ago. Different things happened in my life, and what a blessing it was. But at the time, I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, I've worked for 21 years. I had so many £1 million, and it disappeared in 4 weeks. Oh, okay, God, this is not funny, And I remember saying, God, this is not funny. I said, well, it's the right time. What do you mean it's the right time? I'm broke. I've got no money for food, and it's the right time. You'll see. And they said, you'll see. And I'll never forget that. And it took a little while to, go through a process. But now I do see, I look back at it and think, wow, what a blessing. Because it shifted my whole life set, Stuff doesn't matter, I was saying to someone the other day, we get a new truck or something, oh, you must be really excited. Not really, it's just a truck, it doesn't. What really excites me is seeing someone say, oh my God, I feel so much better. And I see that every day. That's what keeps you going. And again, it relates to that passion within you, that passion like, wow, I'm making a difference. We're really helping people. And, and staying in your authentic self, everyone's a sovereign being. And, you don't need gurus and all this sort of stuff going on. And, you don't need to follow anybody. You need to get back within yourself and follow your intuition and your own sovereign self, because it's all within. I remember when and I called it Crystal Macklin Ministries. I mean, I don't know why I call it ministry, but, everyone thinks it's Christian. It's not, believe you me. And we're actually changing the name. We're going to change it to Global Enlightenment Project. I didn't like program because programming is like,
yeah, it's kind of
project is like, yeah, it feels limited, but project. So we're going to change the name of the 501c3. But I remember sitting there, okay, God, I was thinking like Field of Dreams, build it and open the thing, they'll come. And they didn't. Okay, so what am I doing wrong? And suddenly one day they said, it's within, get out there. Oh, okay. Suddenly. And I'll never forget this. I flew into St. Pete and I went to a Unity church there. It was like a bookshop and no one's ever heard of you, just got here. And it was slammed, and people were banging on the door trying to get in. And I thought, wow, why are they coming to see me? Because I'm just me, And you realize that there's a God element behind it all. If you want to get out there and you're authentic, you chill out with the ego and you just get out there and want to really help people, then you don't have to worry about sales. It just comes, you don't have to worry about money. You don't have to worry about resources. Everything's there. I mean, we have 7 staff running our thing because it's so busy. I couldn't do it myself. I just do healings. I can't think about, scheduling people, and the girls in the office are great and doing other things. Everything's taken care of. And like the IT guy, I get him in, he fixes the computers. Can I fix them? Yeah. Do I want to? Nope. And so, you're better off doing your passion and flowing the money out to other people to help them live as well, And people get so good at, well, I'm going to do my accounts. I mean, I hate accounts. Forget it. My dad's an accountant. But pay the accountant to do it. They just do it, and we've got QuickBooks and all this sort of thing. And, I don't want to know. I just want to focus on what I love. And that's the healing side. So it's all about, changing your whole lifestyle to surrender. And to me, surrender is completely surrender. No, God's got your back. So God's got your back. All you have to do is walk the path and everything else is taken care of. But believing that, is quite a bit of work. Surrender. People say, well, how do I surrender? You can't just surrender like that. Right. It's not like popping to McDonald's and say, I want a Mac surrender. Okay, that'll be $5. And thanks very much. Okay, you open the thing and you surrendered. It takes a bit of work. And it's every day, That's why we did meditations to release heart chakra. We have a fast track method of releasing heart chakra. One-to-one sessions, I do up to 54. And I always check whether people can cope with them. Because if you release 54 biggest release of emotion right now, if you go to a psychologist, they're going to poke in, you ball your eyes out, maybe 1 or 2 layers, and you go again the next week. If you've got several thousand layers, you're going to be 4,000 years old before you've even released half of them. We don't live that long. So they fast track it. And normally, it gives like a release maybe in 2 hours the next day. It really helps, So we've tried to create instruments, meditations and, prayers, which are maps of intent, and to try and, help people on their journey.
Well, let's talk about some of these quicker release techniques that are specific to your work so that people can kind of have, because I know what it feels like to be really stuck.
Oh, I do, yeah.
And then I know what it feels like to just be slowing myself down. And I also know now what it really means to surrender and not even have a foot in this reality. And
Yeah, I know.
and
You kind
that's,
of live between two worlds, you know.
yeah, I mean, and it is, it's quite nerve-wracking. I've had moments where I just shook, when I went, and just surrendered. So I know that it's super, uncomfortable for people to just go too fast and surrender. And I also know what it's like to be so stuck that I'm like, do something, make a choice, right? And then I just feel like I don't even know what choice to make. So can we address just a few of these to, I think that those are big, simple, areas that maybe we can open the door for a few people to release in this session so that they can have a taste of your work. Does that sound?
Oh yeah, I could do that. I
Okay.
mean, I think, like you say, surrender is knowing God's got your back. Surrender, but it's a way of working, changing that mindset, and policing every thought, And the other thing about it as well is I've seen so many spiritual journeys, and sometimes the ego kicks like, oh, I'm meant to do my gift right now. No, you're healing. Do the healing, get in the God space, and you'll know, because one morning you wake up and say, oh my God, I feel. And, like blessing, if you look at some of the teachings that people give you, let's grab a gratitude stone. Oh, right, God, we're going to give you 5 minutes, so I'm grateful for blah, 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 and we're done. Okay, right, time to go on with the day. Doesn't work like that. Gratitude is a way of life. It should be a way of being every single second of every single minute. I mean, I've got everything I need, am I a millionaire? No, I don't want to be, because but I've got a house, I've got a car, I've got a beautiful family. What more do you want? You don't need all stuff, and we give a lot of stuff away and we help people out. But it truly is a way of life, the surrender, the gratitude, the positivity, and when you get, your passion, you get really excited about stuff. You get this inner strength. Right, well, next thing we're going to do it. Now, one thing I've learned is that, once that surrender happens, and again, what we do is we, to help people with it, releasing this emotion is one of the biggest things. And emotion creates patterns, patterns create emotion. So you've got to break that cycle. So what we do is the Melchizedek beings, I work with Melchizedek beings. There's 5 of us on this planet. I know all of them. And, they come from the ultimate dimension, from Cerebus Bay and all this sort of stuff. And, we also we do a lot of things externally. There's a crystalline structure around the planet. And what happens sometimes is that the collective emotion actually gets in that grid. And some days you can feel like, oh my God, I feel this overwhelming despair. And people do. Now, if we didn't clear that grid periodically, what would happen is you get mass suicide, because people, oh God, I've had enough, and you can feel that, you can feel that collective emotion. So we clear the grid and then it builds up again, keep clearing it. So, there's things like that we do, which is outside. Space-time continuum, we police that here. Because if people open portals and there's too many from different instruments like tesselites and various other things, it's like having a football. The third dimensional world's a football. If you puncture too many holes in it, the air's going to change inside. And it's the same here. If the space-time continuum changes, we wouldn't be able to live in a different vibration. We're created to live in this third dimensional vibration, and obviously we're raising our vibration to extend to the fifth dimension. So. But there's a lot of work to do, and I think, to me it's a way of life. So what they do is they go the several thousand layers around the heart, and of course, emotion can cause heart issues. It can paralyze the heart muscle. People say stress causes heart attack. Well, of course it does. It's just stuck energy. So what they do is they go in, and I've developed a technique. I used to just take the layers off the top. So you take a layer, and it might be nothing, and the next layer, forget that. So what they do now is they go within the onion and they pull the biggest layer. And, the Melchizedek beings that go in your body when your vibration's raised, and they can pull the biggest layer and then the next biggest. And what happens is, depending on where that layer affects your body, your muscles or areas of your body will get tight in different areas. Like if it's money, it's going to be a lower back. If it's love, you've got love issues, and it's going to be in your chest. If you've got speaking out issues, and you feel as though you can't speak your truth, you're going to get tightness in the throat, wherever that emotion affects the body. And so it gets tight, and then it releases. We breathe it out. And what tends to happen is, if you do up to say 54 releases, 2 hours time the next day, because it takes subconscious to conscious, it becomes a collective. you tend to have a reaction like you'll bawl your eyes out, or what will happen is maybe you get some anger coming up. And so it really helps fast track people, because the biggest layers of emotion, if you do like 10, 20 of them, you're going to get to a space where you're more surrendered, if because you're taking the biggest emotions away, and that's really important, I think, so that really helps. And there's also past life things as well. We do a past life meditation where it's a guided meditation where you can release past life stuff. But people have this misconception that you come here with karma. You don't. You come here born with no karma. And also one thing that really kind of irritates me, I suppose, is you come with contracts. Well, God doesn't have a lawyer. You come in this world and you experience and do whatever you want. And I think sometimes these things are there to try and divert you from showing up and taking responsibility for yourself. If you say, "Oh, well, it's a contract with God and I've got a contract, so we'll break the contract," it doesn't work like that. We're in a third dimensional world. You have your life review before you get here. You release everything. You feel people's emotion, and you get it. Okay, so I'm coming back down again. So they come back down again, born here with no karma. But obviously, this life's pretty tumultuous, and you're going to go through a lot of extreme things. And so it's not contracts per se. You came down here, and depending on what path you got. If you look at the Akashic records, and the Melchizedek beings created the Akashic records because it creates a map of what you've done in the past. And obviously, people think, "Oh, well, you got a map for the future." You haven't. It's infinite. There's infinite timelines. You can go and work for the Illuminati today, or you can go and work for God today. You can do something else. There's so many timelines, but if they're cleared, and what tends to happen is sometimes they're blocked, and they try and put blockages in the God path so that it veers you off to a different direction. So once again, clearing Akashic records of the infinite timelines, making sure that the very divine path is very clear, and there's a good chance.
Yeah, I almost look at it as like revealing it. We call that implants and explants in my work, that and somewhere you have chosen it and then you implanted it to yourself, right? And it can just easily be cleared, but it's kind of to, divert you or just slow you down.
It's just blockages along the way. And, and again, biofield, you got a biofield, of course, clear that, it's so important. There's so many things to clear. And again, we've created instruments to kind of help with that. And I think if you keep doing it, because people think, "Oh, well, it's going to take, a week," and it doesn't. It might take 6 months, a year, And I think the other thing as well is everyone's got a starseed family. And again, that's, that's, if you're a starseed, well, even human beings, they've got connection to the starseed people. But if you're a starseed, it's important to connect with your starseed family, and they don't connect straight away. One thing I've learned about them is they kind of say, "Okay, so you do meditation, nothing happens. And you meditate the next day, nothing happens. So you meditate a month, nothing's happening." And people get fed up. "Oh, forget that, it's not working." Well, it is working, but they're sitting there thinking, let's see how committed you are. And then suddenly one day there's, you've passed the test, right? And then suddenly things open up, downloads happen, and it becomes a very profound experience, really opening up. And this goes beyond, this is the real connection, the real passion, the real gift, and they'll start downloading, you'll start seeing things. But it does take time, it's a commitment. And a lot of people don't have the time. "Well, I'll just meditate for 5 minutes." That's no good, When I was going through the path of understanding cause and effect of the healing, I took 4 years, probably about 6 hours a day, and I saw and did some extraordinary things because I had so much time on my hands, and it was great, And I think that's your commitment to them, and their commitment is, "Okay, well, you've shown up. Let's give you your gifts and let's get you on the right path." It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm loving this. I love this conversation to take us deeper into
I could go way on, but we already got it now.
Absolutely. Do you want to do an energetic process now, or shall we continue this conversation to, I think, one of my big things is that you were saying you kind of have to commit, and they look to see how committed you are. But I almost think that's, each nugget opens up some capacity in us.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Right.
Well, absolutely. And in commitment and, connecting, and, it is a, it's a simple explanation, I guess, but it is every day, things change, when you're on the path, things change. And, even to the point where, I remember really awakening, like, and I was walking down the street and I felt as though I'd had about 15 beers. Or, wow, I could hardly stand, and because the energy was so strong. And it was interesting. I phoned this guy up, one of the other, because what's going on? Don't worry about it. It's just an adjustment in you, and it was, but it took about 3 or 4 days, because again, if you're getting floating things, your body's got to catch up with that vibration, and eventually, once it catches up and reaches, that level, you'll get more grounded in it. You don't feel so floaty anymore, because your body's used to the energy.
You
And that's,
become it.
I feel really floaty and everything else. Well, I'm really up there in vibration. Well, you're not, because if you were, you'd be very grounded. Yeah, of course you'll feel energy, but as you raise your vibration, so everything changes.
Yeah.
And we've got different energies in the healing as well. I've got space-time continuum energy. That's something that's very different. And what it does is things like Lyme disease, spirochetes. One of the things about Lyme disease is that, you can't send normal energy to somebody, because there's huge die-off with spirochetes. So what this thing does is the energy changes the molecular structure of the spirochetes to benign for the body. But it also does other things. You can actually apply it to tumors, and what it does is it changes the molecular structure of the tumor. So it kind of it softens it, and it goes to a mush, and then the Macklin beings can drain it to the lymphatic system. So many different techniques. It's it's difficult. I mean, it's explained in the book. So,
Yeah.
There's a lot to to go through. But yeah, we can do a process if you want to do that now, bless you.
Yeah, I think it would be fun for the audience to kind of have a taste, and then we can continue to take this conversation deeper.
Yeah, okay. I'll explain what I'm doing throughout the way. So what I want you to do first, so let's sit back and relax, and this is for everyone listening. I'm going to set the intent. Anyone listening to this call will feel this, and it's for everyone listening. So, okay, so I want you to sit back, relax. Don't forget, if anyone's listening doesn't like the word God, use what you like. It's okay, spirit, all it is, all is holy, who knows, Yahweh, God. So just replace the word. So I want you to do a grounding prayer, which is a map of intent. I want you to say, I am of God.
I am of God.
I ground myself to the earth.
I ground myself to the earth.
And I accept this healing for my highest good.
And I accept this healing for my highest good.
Right, I'm going to do it like a group healing, because it's slightly different. So what we're going to do is put you in a portal first. So what we do is we get a portal open, 8 portals from the ultimate dimension. We put it around you and then bond it into 27 esoteric Merkabah fields. That will put you in your own sacred space. That means that no other energy is going to affect you whilst the healing's happening. And the Melchizedek beings can come through and get in your bodies. Okay, so ultimate dimension, 8 portals around each person who's listening to this. Close it off and even. Dear God, come on, 27 each Merkabah fields around that person with their sacred point in the center of the Merkabah fields, bonding the portals to those Merkabah fields, program the blueprint of that person's DNA and the keys of Enoch, so as not to allow anything except for the highest good to enter. What I'll do first is I'm going to, so for everyone listening, we're going to escort any negative attachments, beings out of your body. So if you get an Anunnaki or Draconian, they tend to sit in the abdomen, hang on the shoulders. Shoulders are tight, you get problems with the abdomen, it's bloaty, intestines are gurgly, and you've got problems with the liver and kidneys. So drawing that out now, you're going to feel a drawing sensation from your torso out through your tummy button right now. So if you've got a snake being left to right shoulder, left to right hip, left to right breast, they're going to pull that out now. So as they pull it out, it's going to feel like an unraveling of a kind of snake type thing. Again, these beings are in a different dimension. Their energy feels here, but you can certainly feel them. If there's any archon energies, they're interdimensional beings, float through different dimensions. They're energetic. They don't have a body, but they can actually attach to you. So again, you'll feel a drawing sensation of energy from your body. And if you've got a Luciferian, now these things are pretty snarky. So Luciferians tend to get a bit snarly and might contort your body a bit. Don't worry if it does. They'll escort them out now. Well, what we'll do is suck out any residual vibration energy it has, because a lot of people do have attachments and don't realize it. So Melchizedek beings are replicating this as you're listening to it. So we're going to put an esoteric pipe through your tummy button, bag around your abdomen. Each time we suck out the residual vibration from your abdomen, it's going to get lighter, and you might find your intestines start to gurgle. So we'll do it 4 times. Second time. Third time. Fourth time. Right, so I'm just going to define two types of people who are listening to this. People without spirochetes and nanotet and people with spirochetes and nanotet. Spirochetes and nanotet are Morgellons, Agent Orange, Lyme, and HIV. If you have any of those, you'll feel the space-time continuum energy. So for anyone listening to this who doesn't have those replicate in their body, you're going to feel warm, tingling in the abdomen, and you might find your intestines start to gurgle. That's normal energy. Right, you guys with spirochetes and nanotet replicate your body. Just remind you, HIV, Agent Orange, Lyme, Morgellons, you're going to feel space-time continuum, or as I call it, tachyon energy. It feels very electrostatic. It's going to start in the abdomen. Starts off subtle. Then it's going to get stronger. Stronger and stronger. Then it's going to plateau. Right, so what we'll do first is comb your meridians, and then we're going to do some heart shock releases. So, you know, we walk in a third dimensional world. You can get redundant energies stuck in your body. So what they do is, instead of, you know, going to someone sticking pins in you, they just comb it out. So the Melchizedek beings are coming into your sacred space. So you might feel angelic hands going on your body, or lighter with bins. So going from your crown, down your face, the back of your head on the left, down your neck, across your left shoulder, down your arm. On the right, we're doing the same. On the left, we're going down your neck, down your chest, down your abdomen, out to the hip. On the right, we're doing the same. On the left, we're going from your hip down your thigh, over your knee, down your calf, and out to the foot. And on the right, we're doing the same. Right, so we're going to sweep a bar of energy down your whole body. This does two things. It reactivates the meridians, and it shows you how open your meridians are. The quicker you feel it, the more open your meridians are. So first, second, and third time, oh yeah, they're pretty open. 8th, 10th, 15th time, they're fairly closed. So the Melchizedek being in your sacred space, they've got the arm just above your crown, vertical bar of energy. They're sweeping it down now. So let's do 15. So head to toe, you should feel like waves. So the quicker you feel it, the more open your meridians are. So this is 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, okay, last one. Right, so we're going to give everyone energy in their body first, then we're going to do a little bit on the liver and kidneys, and then we'll do the heart shock release. So we're going to fire energy in the body. So you guys, again, remember, without spirochetes and nanotet replicate your body, that's going to be most of you listening to this call. You're going to feel light, floaty, warm, tingly, or really relaxed. Starting that off now. This is energy from the ultimate dimension, so it's pretty powerful. It's going to get stronger. Stronger and stronger. Well, let's do you guys with spirochetes and nanotet. Again, we're using space-time continuum energy because otherwise we'll make you sick. So you're going to feel electrostatic energy. It starts off normally in the whole body, but might start for the hands and legs, and it'll manifest over the whole body. It's going to get stronger, stronger and stronger. Then it's going to plateau. One thing about this space-time continuum energy, it is affected by phone lines and computers. They only take it so far, and then when we get off the line, really important to move the computer away at least 2 feet. It'll get really strong and turn into more like a plasma flow. Let's do a little bit on the liver and kidneys, and then we're going to work on the heart chakra. So I always do liver and kidneys because most people's adrenals are kind of precarious because of emotion. It bleeds into the adrenals. Obviously, if you have an empty in the abdomen, it's going to paralyze the adrenals and the kidneys as well. So liver and kidneys for everybody listening to this call should start getting warm, tingly. Okay, they're going in now. So they're going to work on the adrenal glands. So you feel tugging, pulling in there. If you do have any kidney stones, going to break them down. It takes a little while to break them down. So going in now, you're going to feel tugging, pulling in there. Or butterfly movement in your kidneys. Right, so if your liver functionality is low because it's paralyzed, we're going to take it up. So as we take it up, your head's going to start clearer because it's going to start processing the toxins properly in your body. So doing that now, so it's getting higher and higher. So for anyone listening, your head should start getting lighter and lighter. It's going higher and higher now. Head should be getting lighter and lighter, more clarity, because it's processing the toxins. Because if your liver's dysfunctional, you tend to get a bone in the brain. Lighter and lighter. Okay, we've got to 100%. So it will, your head, if your head's clearing, it will still keep clearing over the next 5 minutes as it keeps processing the toxin. So let's break any soul ties. So let's work on the heart chakra now. So I'll just do 9 releases, 9 biggest releases. That's a safe place to be on a generic call. So we're going to break any soul ties that are not for your highest good. That's people you got close to, had sex with. You create an energy link, as we know, and you leave part of your soul with them. So we're going to break those. If you've got any people who aren't serving you right now, we're going to break those links and bring the fractals. So, okay, dear God, I grab all the soul ties between anyone listening to this call and anybody who isn't for that person's highest good. We're going to break them now, and I command you bring the fractal to their soul back, cleanse them, put them back in their body now. We thank you, God, send your unconditional love, so be it. So you should feel a shift in your chest, maybe a few tears. Right, so the Melchizedek beings going in now. So don't forget, we've got several thousand layers, thousands of layers. So they're going in and they're going to pull the biggest layer of your emotion right now, and then the next biggest. So as they go in, as they start pulling that energetic out of that onion layer, it's going to get tight. Depending on where the emotion affects the body, it can get either tight in the lower back, lower abdomen, solar plexus, breastbone, throat, upper back, shoulder, or neck. Can be in the head or legs, but it's more unusual. So they're pulling it out now, so it should start getting tight. Tighter and tighter. Now, when it releases, we've got to breathe it out. So as it's releasing, breathe that energy out of your chest. It's really important. Okay, next one. Tighter and tighter. Tighter and tighter. Don't forget, breathe it out when it releases. Third one. Tighter and tighter. Tighter and tighter. Okay, then it's going to release. Fourth one. Tighter and tighter. Tighter and tighter. Then it should release. Fifth one. Tighter and tighter. Tighter and tighter. Then it should release. Sixth one. Tighter and tighter. Tighter and tighter. Okay, then it should release. Seventh one. Tighter and tighter. Tighter and tighter. Then it should be released. Eighth one. Tighter and tighter. Tighter and tighter. Then it should release. Ninth one. Tighter and tighter. Tighter and tighter. Then it should release. So don't forget, you might get a reaction 2 hours the next day, bawl your eyes out, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, or you might get some anger coming up. If the anger comes up, just release it to God. So let me just put some protection around everyone who's listened to. So dear God, I command to create a sphere of ultimate dimension, unconditional love around every person who's listening to this call and their Merkabah field to protect them from any negative entities, fractals thereof, manipulations and transmissional frequencies that are not for that person's highest good through all space-time continuum in every dimension. And so we thank you, God, send your unconditional love. So be it. So that's a little demonstration. Did you feel it?
Wow. Can you explain some of the things that I've done so much of this energy work, all these different types, right? But I hadn't heard like things like these, like snakes, or, you were like kind of describing them as snakes and lucifers. Are those like demons?
Yeah, they're just demonic entities. I mean, you know, if you look at different teachings like Jesus, or you know, they're called demonic entities, dark entities. But you know, I identify that the main ones that affect us is first and second dimensional entities, and things like snake beings. They're in the second dimension. They can attach to you. They tend to start causing breast cancer, for example, because what they do is in the woman's breast they'll wrap themselves in it, and it blocks the meridian structure. And then it means viral infections can mutate the cells, turn into tumors. Because if we drop our vibrations, we've all got viral infections in the body. And so, you know, the viral infections come out. So, you know, so if you pull the snake being out, that's great. And then what you've got to do is obviously, we use tachyon energy, space-time continuum energy to fry any viral infections in the body and then fry the tumors. Lucifer.
Wait, so you use what kind of energy? Tactifer?
No, it's tachyon or space-time continuum energy.
Okay.
I've only found it in the ultimate dimension. Again, it's about permissions. You have to look at, you know, your starseed family and see what you can do.
Cool.
Luciferians, I mean, Lucifer's one of the biggest driving force of darkness down here.
Right.
And, you know, the Luciferians tend to attach to it because they want to affect you. Anunnaki or Draconians. Draconians are the most dark beings you can get. They really drive people to suicide very quickly. If I see a Draconian, I'll actually drop things and do a session with somebody to take these things off, because you know they might not be there the next day, and it's really important. So you know, there's different energies and archons. You know, that's interdimensional beings. They just attach to you. They're energetic. They've got no body because they can move between dimensions. But all these things block your meridians, and you know they can affect you in a profound way. It's like fibromyalgia. If you have an Anunnaki attached to you, if it's sitting in the abdomen, it drops the vibration of the kidneys, so you feel exhausted all the time. It's hanging on the shoulders, so you got back and shoulder issues. It taps in the lower back, sends you negative thoughts, so you got depression and negative thoughts. Your disc starts to bulge because where it's tapping into, even though it's a spirit, it can damage the L4, L5 disc. And obviously it's paralyzing the intestines from the rib cage down. So you've got intestinal issues, you're not absorbing nutrients, and you know, it becomes celiac or whatever it is. All these things, all these, you know, third dimension like names for things like fibromyalgia. I mean, that's just a daft name for, I don't know what's wrong with you, you know, and so we'll give you see what happens, you know, because you got fibromyalgia. Well, you know, it's a combination of things. And, you know, I see a lot of people and there's so many things happening, but the primary thing is normally vibration, emotion, you know. I mean, cancer is easy to get rid of, you know. The most difficult thing on this planet to heal actually is Morgellons, because the nanoparticles start growing in your body. I get a lot of people with Morgellons, and we could treat them, but it takes a while. Lyme disease is the second most difficult, and HIV and Agent Orange. Other things like cancers and things, that's just, you know, pretty simple. It just takes a little while, you know, because the viral infection that's mutating the cells has to be killed off, and you've got to raise their vibration. You know, I've got a lady with breast cancer, you know, right now, and, you know, they're pretty big. They've gone really small, and, you know, we're tachionize them so they get soft and we kill them off. But that's just the symptom. We're also addressing like releasing emotion. So she goes, "Oh my God, I feel incredible." You know, she's taken on the world, and we're killing off the viral infection that caused it. You know, for example, the Verruca virus can cause brain tumors, and there's different viral infection, Epstein-Barr, you know, you name it, they're all there. But once they're killed off, then, you know, the tumor will just disappear, you know.
Right.
It's just a common cold type thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's so interesting once you understand some more energy in this way, that you really are able to, you know, easily let go and clear. Versus, like, you know, people are like, "Well, I have this," and it's like, "Well, that's great that you concluded that you have this."
Yeah, but let's get rid of it. Right? Time to go.
Yeah, you know, and just by them saying like, "I've been diagnosed with this, I have this," that will lock it into place. I mean, and it's, you know, it's just.
Oh yeah, and when the doctor said, "Well, you got 4 weeks to live, you're going to die," that's, you know, the doctor's manifesting you a death. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's like, thanks.
Well, cheers, thanks. You know, I've got 4 weeks to live. You know,
yeah.
It's like this week, I had a lady say, "Oh God, I've lost all my money. Money's my life." No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Money's just an instrument to help you through it. Your life is within you. You know, get rid of that daft money thing, and the more you keep having it as your life, the more it's going to go. You know. So let's shift it all around and say, well, I've got everything. Have you got food on the table? Yeah. Have you got a car? Yeah. Have you got a house? Yeah. Is the roof leaking? No. Wow, you're doing pretty well, you know. So let's look at the gratitude. Let's shift that whole thing into money's not your life. It's just a part of all nonsense. It's just an energetic exchange, you know. It took me a long time to understand money. because
Wow, yeah.
I had a point where I hated it, hated it. And then,
Mm.
this pastor sat and, she was from the Unity Church. She said, well, if you do a healing and I give you some tomatoes, can you pay the electric bill? Will the energy company accept tomatoes? No. What about, this, that? No. She says, well, it's just the same as tomatoes. You can buy tomatoes. It's just an energy. Don't worry about it. It's okay. And I said, yeah, you're right, actually. And she was quite enlightening by that, because I thought money was dark. And money, I've realized that money's not dark. It's what you do with it. You can bless people every day, and that's not dark. That's, and if you get donated by someone who's dark, well, it's in a non-for-profit ministry, and it goes out to serve people, in whatever way it does. So it's turning dark into lightness, just an energy, it's just a dollar.
What changed me around money was I started saying, I be money, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, then I could never lack money because I am money.
Yeah,
it's just a frequency, and then it changed a lot of. It's just I'm kind of money neutral now.
Well, I never worry about it. One thing again with surrender, you just never worry. And I look at the ministry accounts. We have to check the bank out once a week because we have to pay people. Of course, I can't just ignore it. So I hope it's in there, because that's. But I always check it, and God's blessing it. It's okay, and it truly is. You're right. And if you think about money, it's. All this is God's stuff, around us. It's all omnipotent. And I think, it's all part of God. Money the same, and people think, oh, it's evil. We created it. Well, whatever you create, you're a God being, so you're creating God's stuff. It's a matter of the intent and how you use it that counts,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so,
I'm a big fan of no judgment.
I am as well. Yeah. You can't judge anything. Nobody, It's like when people are dark and something happens. Well, that's their path, and that's okay. Do I want to be part of it? Probably not. But you know what? It's their path. Hold the space for them, and they'll get it one day, because there's always lessons in all this stuff, and eventually something will happen and it'll shift their life, And you're right. You can't have judgment about people or about anything, really. You just what you got to do. To me, I think the way to operate in this life is to focus on what you're doing and the people around you who are serving you for your highest good. And if they're not, and they're dragging energy down, then maybe you have to get them out of your life, or they actually leave because you're too, because you don't react in the right way,
Right.
One of the things about the spiritual journey I've seen is that, you don't have many friends because, not many people want to be around you, and that's okay. It's good for me, because the people who are around me really get you, and you have such a great time, and you don't have to explain yourself. You could just be you,
Right.
That's why I'm always my authentic me. I don't want to be anything else but me.
No, but it's taken me years to get to this. I mean, I had to really choose to go on a journey to uncover what I actually was, and really look at what am I choosing, because I was just constantly choosing other people's desires. Some of that empathic stuff. You're like, other people want this. Okay, I want it too, right? And so, I was just constantly like split in all these different directions until I finally got down to, what is it that I desire? What is it that I want? And then it became even bigger. And, what does conscious desire of me? And then I really could start falling into the surrender path and, clear out everything that's not me.
Well, that's the thing. And, I remember, when I was younger, a couple of years ago, or not, but, when I was younger, you had this program, like, you got to get a good job and a corporate company, and you got to make loads of money, because then you'll be stable and you have a family and blah, blah, blah. And, and I hated corporate companies. Awful. I didn't like it at all. I felt trapped. I just came back home and, well, okay, I'm getting a paycheck, but now I love it, because I think with your passion, it becomes a way of life. It's not work. I mean, like I say, I work on 800 people 4 days a week. I work from like 8 in the morning till 7 at night. We do so much in the week, but I do it 4 days because, I found that, with this level of work, you can't do it 5 days a week. You need to do 2, have a day off, rebalance, and then do 2, have the weekend off. And it's great. But I think, you can do it because I think, you know, in some way the passion drives you, and therefore because of the passion you're connected to your God Seed family, and they also, you know, help balance you, and you know, you can do as much work as you want. I mean, I see 21-year-olds, and God bless them, again, no judgment, just observation, that they work for 4 hours. Oh God, I'm tired. I said, you've got to be kidding, you know. And you know, I'm 57, and I can do like 12-hour days, no issue at all, and that's because you're getting in balance. I think, you know, I think that's so important. So it's just about passion, that driving passion, and so many people don't know what it is. But you know, first of all, it's connecting your starseed family, finding way from it. Palladian, Arcturian, Sumerian, Atlantean, Lumerian, whatever you are, you know, Andromedan. You know, it's important, I think, if you're a starseed, to find out who they are and start talking to them, and they really will guide you. You know,
how do we find out? You know, I've asked questions before, and I've come with some sort of like names or answers. But what do you suggest for us to uncover more of that? Like, what's our star seed? And
well, one of the things that the problem with trying to find out what starseed you're from is you've got the DNA for most of them. So if you say, oh, you're Palladian, well, yeah, you got some DNA of Pallades, and you got some, you know, some DNA of Arcturian. You know, it's been mixed up for the 57 strands and whatever, you know. So I think that's the problem. But one of them will stand out. You know, I always tell people, I never uncover it for them. I can ask, and I know, but I always want to actually confirm it rather than tell people, because I think it's much more profound if they feel it. Go, oh wow, yeah, I'm Arcturian, or oh wow, I'm Palladian. Yeah, and then that's what I got. You know, I can confirm it. But I think, you know, you get it when you're really, really clear and the vibration's right up there. You know, you'll get it. I mean, I learned I was Melchizedek being in Belize. You know, when I was broke, and someone sponsored me to go to Belize, and we went to Antivich, which is a Mayan temple, and I sat on the top of it for hours and just saw visions and all sorts of things. And another thing, you know, you got to be very careful about how much you ask them. But I said, "Can you show me all my past lives?" And I got, "Don't be so ridiculous." What do you mean? Don't be? Well, you can never fit all that information in the human brain. Ask again. Oh, okay. So I thought, okay, so okay, can you show me my past lives for the last 4,000 years? Because that's the time period really that we're coming back. All starseeds have been back several times at different times during this 4,000 years to kind of learn how to operate down here, so we can actually help with the, you know, with the transition. And so, and this is the time now, like, you know, Jesus' time, Buddha's time, all the people of the past, and Babaji, and you know, they've come down, but that wasn't the key. That was just to help, you know, raise the vibration. But now is the key issue, and we've been all training for the now, you know. And so, so I think, you know, I just asked 4,000, you know, over 4,000 years. They showed me all of them, you know. Wow, you know, and that's pretty. I thought it was pretty profound. But you know, I never tell people what it is, because it doesn't matter who you are then. It matters who you are now, you know.
Right, I agree.
You know, it matters what you do now. But it did show me that, you know, I've been doing the same thing. You know, pretty big in some lifetimes, not so big in others, but you know, I'm on the right path, and I think it just gives you confirmation. But, you know, sometimes people say, "Oh, was this in life? Oh my God," you know, and they run out, and the ego kicks in, and "Oh, you got to follow me now because I was so and so in a past life." It doesn't matter who you were then; it's what you do now that counts, in my opinion. But
yeah, and I also think that a lot of people make it too significant.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's supposed to be a guidance. I mean, it kind of surprised me when I saw them past lives, but I thought, okay, you know, did that? Well, okay, we're going to do it now. And, you know, and it explained a lot. You know, I learned I was a Melchizedek being, and, you know, there's 5 of us here, and we're doing this and that. I've met all of them, and, you know, it was pretty profound. And they showed me the cash register. They showed me a lot of things, you know, but it was over like a 4-year period. It was astounding, you know. And at that time, because my vibration was very high, I could do some extraordinary things. Could I do them now? I don't know, because I don't have the time to meditate. Although I can say that I'm in the ethers all day, because, like you said, you know, you're in a duality, because you're doing healings. I'm about viewing people, seeing inside their bodies. You know, you're connecting with the Melchizedek's, talking to them all day. So, you know, 12 hours a day, that's a lot. And when you stop, it normally takes about half an hour to like, okay, got to come down, you know. That's why my wife drives everywhere, because, you know, if you're in the ethers, you're not paying attention, you know, so.
Yeah, I really make certain that I am all of me a lot of the time, because when I was playing too much outside of me or too expanded of body of me, then I was actually hurting myself.
Yeah.
I was, just accidentally hurting myself. And so I really have asked over and over again, what would it take for me to be fully in my body and be able to access the areas that I was able to access. And that
Yeah, it just takes a bit of work. Well, again, it's getting in that God space, that vibration where, your body's caught up to that energetic vibration, and then you become very grounded. I mean, I'm fairly grounded, although, like I say, it's not because I'm like really floaty. I'm just a little bit spacey because I've been watching stuff all day, and you've got to get out that, realm and come back down here and say, okay, I've got to be present now for my wife and family.
Right. Yeah.
So, it just takes a bit to do, like half an hour. Okay, I'm better now. But the problem is, if you've got the gift of seeing things, you see things happen all the time. You can see beings, you can see cracks in the sky, and you kind of can't look anywhere without, oh gosh, there's a reptilian thing there or something, So I've learned to switch that off as well, because you don't want to be walking around shopping centres and, oh, look at that reptilian, oh god, You just want to block it out and just focus on what you're doing, and then when you're open to actually do the healing, then you can actually open it up and see it all.
Yeah. Well, then you ask for, what I do is ask for access to that.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. I want to talk about, you put together a special offer package for us about amplifying your divine presence, purpose, and personal power. And I would love for you to go through each of the items so that, and there's some physical items in here too, so that they know what they're going to receive.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dissolving the Enigma of Divine Healing was a channel book, that I did, and it's got all the information about how the healing works. It talks about Lyme disease, what it means, how it's healed. It talks about.
Actually, before you do this, Christopher, let me go ahead and give them the link, or let me go ahead and give them the place to go to get the link.
Absolutely.
Because I just realized that I had. So you guys, you can find a big yellow button at the bottom of this page that you're listening to. And if you found this interview on YouTube, there will also be a direct link to the special offer that we are going to talk about right now. So if you want to invest more, Christopher's put together an amazing special offer where he's put together 8 or 9 items here. And it's been discounted from the value of $810 down to $127 plus shipping. So if that calls you to be a part of this, I invite you to listen and go to the link and follow along with us. Again, it's a big yellow special offer button, or there will be a link after the description on YouTube. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And don't forget, it supports both of us in our work, and it's really important. So please,
well, and it will support, it will change your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, special offer. So, first of all, got the physical book, Dissolving the Enigma of Divine Healing. What that does is explains the cause and effect. It's going through all types of disease, leukemia, explains about leukemia. Leukemia is easy to get rid of, and it's caused by low vibration, too much toxin in the body, kills off stem cells, and it goes through that, how it works. We do this, on a daily basis. It talks about the emotion, effect on the body, adrenals. It talks about, how leaky gut starts. You name it, it covers it. Cancers, cystic fibrosis. It goes through all cause and effect. It's quite a short book, but it's the thing is about this book, it's very concise. One thing I'm not I don't fill it out with blah, blah, blah. It's just, this is how it works. And, you'll find it. People have to read it 3 times to, they keep discovering things. So I hope that'll really help you understand, disease, and, it covers almost everything. Now, the quartz crystal Merkaba pen, and that's a Merkaba. We've got Merkabas around us. We've got 3, and they can, you can spin them actually. You can blow lights out, but we have them around us. So this is sacred geometry connected to the human body. It's the ascension vehicle. So why do we give people one of those? Well, if you put one on your heart chakra, what we do is we program at the blueprint of your DNA. We remove any negative entities from crystals, because crystals can contain entities and negative vibrations. So it's really important to clear them, programming the blueprint to your DNA. When you wear it, what it does is it acts as a gateway for energy, and it really helps feed good energy into the heart chakra. So if you wear it around here, and it keeps the not so good energy out, which is really good.
Cool.
So we've got meditation. So the whole body detox. What does that do? Well, I do that in healings as well. But what it does is it's a guided meditation. It's a healing meditation, really. What it does is, what we do is put you in a portal, and then what we do is we switch toxins out of this time to a different time in the body, and draw them out of space, draw them out of the body. So it's time, space, continuous switching. So it's a much better way of detoxing your body. And if you run that, it lasts for 24 hours. So just a bit of advice: if you get these MPEGs, make sure you always do the whole body detox last, because then it's not interrupted. It'll last for 24 hours, and it just draws the heavy metals and any toxins out of your body. So 21 heart chakra. What that does is we've got several thousand layers. It takes the layer off the top, and then the next layer, next layer. It's quite good, but we've also got the stress and anxiety one, which actually does 9 biggest layers. So you can choose which one you want. They both do the same sort of thing, except one takes the layers off, and the stress and anxiety pulls 9 biggest layers out. Now, regret energy is really important, because regret energy in the lower abdomen, for the ladies, can cause endometriosis or fibroids or cancer of the uterus. For the guys, it can cause enlarged prostate or cancer prostate. So, and what it does, it's either, I call it regret energy, but it's either from sexual activity or it leads from the heart chakra down into the lower abdomen. Either way, it needs releasing. So again, they go in and they release that. You can feel the pressure and then release, pressure release. It does 9 releases, so that's really useful.
Cool.
And then we've got the 7 chakra clearing and rebalancing. So we basically clear the chakras. Melchizedek beings go in and start clearing them, and then they start rebalancing them and connect them together. So that's a good useful set of MP3s that'll really help you on your journey. And I've also got a couple of prayers, pyramid prayer protection. That's pretty useful, because you can put a pyramid around you, esoteric pyramid, and that really helps. But the big one is spiritual attack prayer. If you get spiritual attacks, if you feel like your heart's palpitating, or you've got remote viewers. Remote viewers are interdimensional beings. They watch you. When they watch you, they make you feel discombobulated. So they feel like butterflies in your stomach, or somebody's watching you. And it's probably an Anunnaki team from the 4th dimension. They just watch you and see what you're doing. And so again, the spiritual attack prayer removes any negative entities, any remote viewers, and we bring them before God for justice, and we will release them to God with unconditional love and forgiveness. Again, we're not judging them. We just want to get them out of our space, because they're trying to manipulate. So those prayers are obviously maps of intent. So, and I think these things will really help you.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you guys, the link is at the bottom of the page. It's a big special offer link that you can find at the bottom of the page here to get that offer and to get those items actually physically mailed to you, which is super cool. So many of these things are just digital, so I think it's kind of cool that.
No, it's nice to get something in your hand, like, oh, it's a real book, or it's a real, quartz crystal.
Yeah, that, and the whole, shift that goes with those items are awesome as well. So, so go ahead and take action. The link is below. And I hope you've enjoyed this conversation. Christopher, is there anything else that you want to add to our discussion today?
I just think, the main thing is, getting your vibration up, make sure you protect yourself. And one of the things about these entities all around you, again, I'm not trying to harp on about them, they're manipulated. It's not for us to judge them, but if they're trying to mess with you, then it's really important to keep them out. So one thing I do is say the prayer of protection every 2 hours whilst you're awake, until you've got your vibration up. If you don't, what's going to happen is you'll get another attachment. And I see it day in, day out, and, oh, I forgot to say the prayer, and suddenly something's attached, and you'll go backwards because it'll drop your vibration. So one of the things is really that, and, just like I say, it's a whole mindset shift. It's going to take a bit of time. So again, one thing I used to do when I was younger, I don't do it now, is I used to beat myself up. Like, you go out and say, well, I've got to do this, and I've got to do 20 things today, and you come back, I only did 5. It was ridiculous. And, you're kind of judging yourself, and you're creating your own emotion to ingest. And it's crazy. So one thing I've learned is, again, part of the surrender is whatever happens today is just going to happen today, and it's in divine alignment. And what doesn't happen today is, hey, we've got tomorrow. It's just okay. But I think surrender is chilling out. But you'll probably have trouble if you've got a lot of emotion, you've had a lot of abuse. It's going to take a bit to actually release that, and get to a more surrendered place. So it's just doing the work, do that stress and anxiety. I mean, the biggest meditation we do every day, or get people to do every day, is releasing stress and anxiety, followed by the whole body detox. If you do that every day, it'll really help you. But just be warned, just a note of caution is that the whole body detox, if you do it normally after the third or fourth day, if you're doing it every day, you might get a little bit of diarrhea, and then it'll clear up after a day or two, because it really does work. So I'm just, suggesting that. Don't worry about it. We've had a lot of feedback from that. Because people, oh my God, I've got a little bit of diarrhea.
From energy work.
Yeah, it is, but it's okay. Just a little warning.
Cool. Fabulous.
Yay.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this call, and we will see you next week. Bye for now.